Hey, it's Chris Carley from eyeoftheflyer.com. I'm here today with Kish Vasnani. He is the co-founder of a company called Nomad Lane, and he developed a product called the Bento Bag. And Kish and Nomad Lane kindly offered a pair of bento bags for my wife and me to try. And at first, we were a little leery because we like to pack a lot. We had put a lot of stuff in our backpacks. They were bigger than we are. But the thing is, the Nomad Lane Bento Bag helped us change the way we pack for the better. We don't bring as much stuff along on trips anymore. And we're able to pack essentials in our bag, access them easily during flights. And they're convenient. They're great. I love them. Kish, welcome. What inspired you to start Nomad Lane and design the Bento Bag?
Thanks, Chris, for having me. I've been reading the blog for a long time. Really happy to be here. To jump right in, I personally, in my personal life, before I started Nomad Lane with my wife, I was constantly losing things everywhere. I can't tell you how many umbrellas of mine are on New York City Transit. I can't tell you how many chargers, wires, cords, etc. I've
Same.
Hotel rooms. And I think really the turning point for us was my wife and I were actually on our honeymoon, and we did about 4 or 5 weeks in Europe. And every 4 or 5 days, we had that Europe itinerary. We were kind of bouncing around, we had someone had actually gifted us a GoPro, and we lost it. And it had all of our, behind the scenes, wedding footage. My wife is like a graphic designer, artistic person. She wanted to create a movie and, share it with our family and friends. And we lost all the footage and everything at the hotel. And, we didn't realize it till we got to the next city. And, you try to call the hotel. Hey, do you have my, $500 GoPro? I left it on the bed. No, I'm sorry. It's not here. Sorry, sir. Okay.
It walked off weird.
I guess you don't have it. But just that, and just little small things like chapstick and, pens, notebooks, things that you need on the road.
Sure.
I would just always lose them, misplace them, didn't know where they were, struggling to find them. And that was like the beginning of how we started to get the idea of, well, when we travel, airlines, et cetera, they have like a finite amount of space that they give you.
Sure.
When we maximize this, it's like, okay, I've got this bag, but it was down to the point where we said to ourselves, I still see air, and this counts towards the dimensions or the weight, et cetera.
Mm-hmm.
What can we do to maximize that? And, we don't have a design background at all. I've got an arts and sciences degree. My wife's got a business and a creative degree from Emory University. And we just kind of started drawing out some things and went from there.
Great. The bag has worked great for me in all types of cabins and airlines. It's worked great for me on Southwest. It's worked great on SkyWest, in the regional jets. First class, coach, it's fantastic. The bag is so convenient to use. Now, let me ask you, are you a light or a heavy packer?
So I start off as a light packer. I just try to think about, okay, if I'm going for 3-4 days, I'm actually in Atlanta at the moment, and pack my bag, etc. I try to stay light, but then I add on all the little tchotchkes and pens. And what if I need an extra chapstick? I can't go anywhere without chapstick. I've always got to have one in my pocket, kind of like my phone. So I end up being more on the heavier side, but whatever it is, my requirement is always like, what, if it doesn't fit in the bag, it's not going with me. And that's typically the way I like to travel, and don't try to pick up too many things along the way unless they're essential for emergency items. But it's like the one way that my wife and I, we can agree on. And as you mentioned with your bento bag as well, we both pack differently. She separates things, etc., and I put them in different pockets, etc. So like kind of in the middle, but our only requirement is that if it doesn't fit in the bag, it's not going with us.
It's not going on the trip, period?
It depends on how long we're going for the trip. So like, for example, if we're going for a longer trip, we might put our clothing, for example, in like a roller bag, and maybe just our other, essentials that we might need inside the bag. But we'll allocate, okay, well, this is, something really tiny. Well, this is going to go in the bag, and this is going to go in the roller, etc. And so that's kind of like, we try to define the packing parameters and then start packing for the trip.
Great. Can you show us how you pack your bento bag?
Yeah, I would love to. You know, I'm actually in Atlanta at the moment. I actually had some stuff pulled out. So if you'd like, I can walk over and show you how we do it.
That'd be great. All right. So Kish, how do you, the inventor of the bento bag, pack your bento bag?
Yeah, sure. A great question. And I actually laid out some things here today to show you. So first things first, what I've seen works really well for me is I typically like to roll up my clothing here. So like, you know, I've got the fleece here. I've got some t-shirts here. You know, as I mentioned, I'm in Atlanta for the weekend. So, you know, I packed up some things here. So I've got like 3 t-shirts and a fleece here that I put in. And then I've also got one pair of pants because I tend to spill my food everywhere. And my wife gets really mad at me if I don't have a backup pair. So like, you know, I'll take pants like this and I'll just take these here and I'll just simply roll them up like this here. And if I put this here, this is the bag here. Let me just get this out of the way here. But basically, you know, as mentioned before, we, you know, have essentially designed a duffel bag that packs like a suitcase. And the way that we were able to maximize the space was to have it open down the middle, like a suitcase. And so, you know, once you look here on the inside, you've got 2 separate compartments here. You've got a back compartment here that also in the front, you know, kind of has your laptop sleeve as well. And so what we did was we essentially are using your own clothing to cushion your laptop as well.
Oh, great.
Obviously, like, you know, there's a padded pocket here, but, you know, back here, you've got a whole spot right here. And it's like, what I'll do is I'll just take these here that I've kind of rolled in, and I'm actually packing really light for this one. So even though I've got, you know, 3, 4 shirts here and a fleece, you can still see there's still plenty of space in here. Yeah. This is not maximized in any way. So, you know, I'll do that. What my wife does sometimes as well is she'll use this back pocket and she'll maybe put like a sweater or a scarf or something. The beauty also of this back pocket is that I can actually access this through the top.
I love that feature. I love that feature.
So that's exactly what I just put in there. It's all in there. Like, you know, for example, like my wife is not necessarily always a fan of the airline food. It depends on where we're going, what they're serving. So maybe she'll get some takeout food at the airport terminal and also put it in here, like a scarf, sweater. Sometimes it gets a little chilly. And, you know, with COVID and everything, she's not too keen on getting an airline blanket, you know, that may have already been used by someone else. So that's what she'll do there. And then, you know, moving on. Oh, I've also got my pants here as well. So sometimes gotta put those in as well. I can't have my wife get mad at me. I'll spill something. So even, you know, and like, I'm probably like 6'1", about 34, 36 waist, about a large, you know, size. And so as you can see here, I've kind of put in everything here and it all fits in, and I'll just zip this part up here. So I typically like to do the bigger stuff first when I pack. From there, as mentioned, you know, the laptop sleeve. And so I've got here, I've got MacBook here, sorry for that, right there, that, you know, just kind of slides in. I typically, when I travel, I don't like to be tethered to my phone all the time. And so I will pick up a magazine. So, you know, I've got a travel and leisure magazine here. This can also be used like a Kindle as well, or an iPad as well. So as you can see, you know, it kind of fits right in there. So that's typically how I'll pack this side. Now going over here, you know, this is actually a compartment here that you can't really access from the outside, but it's kind of deep in there. And so what we also include is we include shoe bags as well. So like I've got a pair of loafers, so like, you know, I might wear like, you know, something easy to, you know, pull on or off when you're going through airport security, and bring like more formal shoes. And I'll actually put them kind of, you know, just in here tucked in. And as you can see, there's still, you know, plenty of space inside to put in whether, you know, knickknacks and things like that, that we have. The really cool thing that I think what people like as well are these 2 shallow pockets here. Now you can't access them from the inside, but when I zip this up, and I'll show you this here. We actually designed these to be like super quick access. And so this is primarily for like chargers, you know, your toiletries and things like that. And so that's typically what we use this for. Whenever you make a purchase, we actually do include toiletry bags in here, but you've got these, here we go. You've got these two, I don't know if you can see this, but you've got these two pockets across the top here. And these are the shallow pockets I just showed you. Now, for example, you know, I was on a recent Delta flight, been traveling, you know, for many years, but I also traveled on United, Polaris, Virgin Atlantic, other airlines, and you typically will get an amenity kit. So this, as you know, in your followers probably know, this is the Toomey kit that they gave out a few years ago. It's the hard case. And so I'm going to put this inside this pocket, and it actually sits perfectly in the bag right on top of the shoes that I put inside. And so as you can see there, it sits there very close to the top as well. So if I need to immediately pull it out, I can do that as well.
So that's a good spot to put your charger cables, hand sanitizer, you know, the stuff you're going to use during your flight. So you can access it quickly, right? That's
correct. Yes. Like, you know, for example, I've got this hand sanitizer that, you know, I've been traveling with as well. You know, since COVID, I'll just pop it in right there. It sits right on top. And so, you know, if I get up, if I go to the bathroom, you know, touch a door or something, I'll immediately pull it out and sanitize my hands there. What the pocket is also good for, and this is something that we include with every purchase as of now, is a cord organizer as well.
Oh, great.
And so here, like, you know, I've got the MacBook Pro charger, like one of these brick things here. I'll put this in. I've got my AirPods here. You know, there's the case for it here. And then I've got a super fast charger that I like to use because, like, you know, the regular Apple one might take a little longer, but I've got the brick iPhone charger. And so that also will just slide in here. And so if you look right here, as I'm packing it, all of these things, you know, because it's Apple, it's all white, it's pretty easy to see here. But this is how this would fit in here. And obviously, like, you know, I know people who carry like the monitor cords, VGA cords, and things like that. It all fits in here. And that can just get zipped up. And this is also about the same size as the other amenity pocket I showed you. And, you know, little quick handle, quick access handle. And like I said, this slides into this pocket here, and it sits right on top of the shoes, but in its own dedicated compartment. And I think that's what's really important, especially when you're in flight. You know, you're cold, or you need the sanitizer, you need a charger, you know, to plug into the USB, etc. That's really what this was designed for. These two top access pockets. You know, I've also got like my own like amenity, you know, thing here that I also travel with. I put the Toomey in here for demonstration purposes, but the one that we include is also similar in size. So that's also popped in there. And what we also have is we've also got a front access pocket here as well. And so here, like, you know, one thing, like after being on the road for a long time is I'm always looking for my keys to get back into my house. I want to get back in my bed. So we've got, you know, a key loop here that you just kind of snap your keys onto. So it kind of sits there on top. I've got my wallet here. It depends on the flight. Sometimes I'll keep this in my pocket, or I might just slide it in here. You know, there's like stretchy pockets in here all around that I'll put in. The other thing, what's been really annoying sometimes, is that sometimes I'm on the road and my phone battery's down. I've got to text or reply back to an email, you know, et cetera. And so what we also did, something that we did not see so much in the marketplace, was, you know, we wanted to have a way to charge your phone when on the go. So inside this bag, it's actually already wired with a USB output port on this side here. And what we also included was a slot to put in your own battery pack. Because, you know, as you know, probably Chris, a lot of, you know, your listeners, et cetera, they probably fly with some sort of backup battery pack here. And so basically what you can do here, and as you can see here, I've got this wire. This is actually built into the bag. And so you use your favorite battery pack. And what you do is you simply just pop that in, and there we go. Boom, I'm ready to go. And so if I'm on the road, or, if I need to quickly access my phone, and actually here, I'll show you this right now as well. If I pull this out, so this is like my charge cord from my charger that I'll plug and show you. You can actually attach this wire to the side of the bag here. And here, I'll do it for you right now. And, whether or not you've got this, kind of slid over your roller, or if you're holding your hand, but basically, as you can see here, this wire actually charges here. And I've got my phone here in my pocket, and, I'll show you right now. And so like this one right here, if I simply take this right there, plug it in, there we go. I'm charging right there.
And one thing I love about that feature, Kish, is that sometimes we're in airport club lounges, or we're in a gate area where, despite the fact there are more electrical outlets and USB ports being installed, there are some places where you just can't find them, or they're all in use. And that is one thing I love about my bento bag, is I have a big old brick that I put in there. I can charge my phone. I can charge my daughter's tablet, my wife's phone. I love that feature. That was kind of a game changer for us.
Awesome. Yeah, no, and it's like, really where the inspiration for this came from was that, as you mentioned, sometimes the lounges for any airline might be packed, or, you might see an outlet way in the corner, but, someone's hogging it up, right? So how do you tell someone, hey, if you're above 50%, can I jump in there and charge mine so I can get 50%? So it is a little awkward. And so that's really where this part came from as well. And so, that's what that's where that came in. And then, I've got a shoulder strap here as well. So I can actually, either keep this on my shoulder, and kind of put it on the go as well. And we include, what we also have is we also have a trolley pass through.
I love that.
This is something that I was surprised that, like, a lot of bags, like, when you go to the airport, what people do is they take their handles and they kind of like tie them around,
right.
Like the roller, and then you see them struggling when they go up the escalator at security. So, we really address that right here by sliding this over. And this, fits, I would say, 99% of rollers. You've got the really wonky ones that have the wide handles. Maybe it won't fit that one. But for your most, like, Samsonite Travel Pros, Rimowas, or whatever else, like the Delcies and things like that you got out there, this will all fit in. We've tested this out extensively.
Yeah, I've used it on, I think, 5 different types of suitcases, or 5 different sizes. It has fit all of them. I mean, the ones obviously with the shorter handles, like the big bags with the shorter handles, it just comes to the top, but I'm still able to use it, and it saves me a lot of space.
You're still able to, like, pull it comfortably and everything.
Right. Yeah, not a problem at all.
Perfect. And we also have this back pocket here as well. This is so, like, I'm still one of those people where when I go check in, and as long as there's enough time, I typically like to get my boarding pass printed out, because my phone battery might die, I might not have service at the gate, et cetera, and I don't want to be that person holding up. So I'll typically put a paper copy of my boarding pass here, and as you can see here, if this is where it slides over, this pocket is right here, and that's really where we put this in. This is something that we originally did not want to do, but it's just convenience, and it's just this pocket is specifically for the boarding pass. It doesn't interfere with my chargers, my toiletries, my clothing, my whole man pills, my laptop, etc.
Yeah, that's where we put our boarding passes and our luggage claim tags too, right in that pocket.
Yep, exactly. And the other main thing I wanted to point out, and why I think people love the bag, is that every airline, as you know, they have requirements on what you can bring on board. So it's typically a roller and a personal item size. When we started Nomad Lane, we directly went after the personal item niche. And so I put all this in this bag, and I don't know if you can see, but it's pretty compact.
Yeah, it is.
Really use every square inch. This bag fits under the seat and fits the personal item requirements for United, for American, for Spirit, for Delta, obviously, for Virgin Atlantic, and Singapore Air, British Air, etc. For a whole host of all the major U.S. carriers, including the major international carriers, going from continent to continent. And that's really how we designed it. You know, my wife before used to carry like a tote bag, like a Longchamp tote bag type thing. This bag and her tote is the same classification. So what she does is she rolls up her tote, sticks it inside this bag.
Wow.
It's this bag because she can pack more and not get charged extra airline fees. You know, we did a study on our customers, and you know, they say, you know, after about 7 flights with the bag fees that they charge, this bag pays for itself. Yeah, no, this is it's been a really cool journey. This is not what I thought I'd be doing, you know, 5 years ago or 10 years ago, but you know, I've been through a lot of these issues, and really excited, you know, all the customer emails and you know, things that we see on a day-to-day basis, especially when traveling.
Great. So Kish, where can people get the bento bag?
So right now we are available directly through our website, which is nomadlane.com. And, you know, you basically go there. We've got a few colors to choose from. And actually, Chris, I also wanted to offer to your audience as well, because I feel that, you know, your audience goes through or has gone through or will go through a lot of things that I personally went through, you know, with my life and travel life pre-bento bag. And so what I'd like to offer your audience as well is $10 off their order, enter code EOTF at checkout.
So $10 off when they enter promo code EOTF, Echo Oscar Tango Foxtrot, for Eye of the Flyer. So promo code EOTF gets $10 discounted. Is that correct?
That's correct. Off any order, any color. Yeah.
That's awesome. Thank you so much.
No, you're most welcome.
So go to nomadlane.com or use the link in the description below. Get $10 off your purchase. And Kish, thank you so much for joining us. I love your product. Can't wait to see what else Nomad Lane is going to come out with.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure speaking with you today. And yeah, we've got some exciting things planned for the future.